Wow. The 76ers just took the Houston Rockets to overtime. The 76ers had 8 available players to start this game. Me and everybody else basically in the NBA world assumed this was going to be a complete slaughter by the Houston Rockets, who are the second seed in the West and healthy. They might have been missing one player, but much healthier than the 76ers were. It ends up going to overtime. The Rockets pull out the win, 144 to 137. Quentin Grimes has a 46-point performance. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about some other stuff that happened in the game. I'm going to talk about Nico Harris and the Dallas Mavericks for trading this guy. I mean, I said I was done watching these games, but the basketball gods at least did us the favor of delivering us Quentin Grimes. And really, this is as perfect as you could have asked for it to go. The Sixers made it fun. They made it interesting. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I did not expect I was going to have this much fun watching a basketball game the rest of this season. And the Sixers made it fun. Quentin Grimes had a career high. They tied the franchise record for made threes in a game. They did a lot of fun things. Some fights almost happened. Players got ejected. And they still pulled off the tank and lost the game in overtime. Pretty much as perfect as you could have asked for it to go. I'm going to give you all of my opinions on it. I want you to give me all of your opinions on it. But first, this is brought to you by our friends at BetUS. Shout out to BetUS for continuing to sponsor the channel. Here's the live lines that are left tonight. The only one that's open right now is the Denver Nuggets over the Golden State Warriors. It is in the second quarter, and the Nuggets are a plus 106. And we have the San Antonio Spurs. It is in the first quarter. They are a plus 332, now a plus 405 on the Los Angeles Lakers. There's the live over and under, the live spreads, and the live money lines on BetUS. You can get 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and 125% on your next two on BetUS by using promo code YouTube150. And the line for this Sixers-Rockets game, the Rockets were a minus 1,400. The spread was 15.5. This was not supposed to be a close game at all. And the Rockets needed overtime to make it happen simply because of straight up because of Quentin Grimes. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you are a Sixers fan still watching these games and tuning in for my reactions, or if you are a Houston Rockets fan or a fan of any other team and you're just here because you like my my reactions to the game. Thanks for being here. Just give me hit the like button for me one time. That's all I ask, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. The 76ers lose 144 to 137. But that might have been the most fun I've had watching a game this season since Jared McCain dropped 35 and 10 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, the Sixers were up by 25 points in the second quarter. They were putting the boots to the Houston Rockets. And again, I think NBA coaches in general are a bit overrated, but I think some of these coaches are very overrated, and I think some of these GMs are very overrated. And it's just interesting to me that when a team, takes their foot off when a management team takes their foot off the gas and says, "Okay, throw in all the young guys. We're gonna lose on purpose now," and then they almost accidentally beat the second seed in the West because you got young, hungry athletes who are flying up and down the floor. The Sixers were up in transition points. They were up 15-2 on the Rockets in the first half. It will just always make me smile when a management, coach, GM, and everybody tries to put all of these old experienced veterans on the floor, and it doesn't work. And then they take the foot off the gas and say, all right, we're going to lose now. And they put a bunch of 21-year-olds on the floor, and they actually play better because it's a young man's game. Jalen Hood-Schifino, Nick Nurse would never put that dude on the floor in an NBA game. Never. Look what he's doing. Quentin Grimes, Nurse would play him. Nurse loves him, and everybody loves him now. I mean, look what he's doing. But just a lot of guys would never get on the floor. The first 20 games of this season, I was screaming, where are the young athletes? Where's Justin Edwards? Where's Adembona? I was saying this at the beginning of the season, and people are like, you really think Justin Edwards is going to know? But the dude won't play anybody. Anyway, this is what you get when you just got a bunch of guys with a chip on their shoulder that are out to prove something. And before I talk about Quentin Grimes and what happened in the game, I'm ready. I'm ready to watch a bunch of young guys with a chip on their shoulder out to prove something. I'm tired of watching these has-beens. I'm tired of watching these dudes that look like they got nothing left to prove and they got $200 million guaranteed dollars coming towards them. I'm tired of watching it. Give me the young guys, because this was fun. And the 76ers season, this season, hasn't been fun. Now, as far as the game goes, Sixers were putting the boots to like I said, to the Houston Rockets in the first half. It was the classic case of underestimating a team, right? Saying like, hey, they only have 8 available players. They're tanking. They're losing on purpose. They're the 5th. They have the 6th worst record in the league. Everybody's hurt. We're gonna, let's go out there and take it easy, and don't have any injuries, and we'll pull off the victory. And they just forgot that these are also NBA players, and NBA players are just so happen to be so good at basketball that they can score points in the NBA if you give them an opportunity. And this dude number 22, Brissett, OKK. I mean, dudes that like 2 weeks ago I would have been like, who the freak? Alex Reese was hitting some threes out there, and the Sixers were beating them in transition. They were beating them on the rebounds. They were just beating the Houston Rockets in every way possible. And they were just raining threes in the first half. It just felt like one of those like first round of the NCAA tournament where barely a D1 school, knocks off the number 1 seed. Because the Sixers were making everything, the Rockets couldn't buy a bucket, and they were getting punked. The Rockets were getting punked. And I want to say this too before I talk about Quentin Grimes, because I want most of this post-game video to be about Quentin Grimes, but I want to say this too. The Rockets just got exposed. If you're a fan of a Western Conference team, if you're an OKC fan or a Denver Nuggets fan or a Lakers fan or any team that you feel like is a contender in the Western Conference, I think the Rockets just got exposed. Because the 76ers showed up, punched them directly in the mouth, and they damn near folded. They struggled to get back up on their feet, and they barely got back up on their feet with just enough. It took them overtime to get back up on their feet, somebody once told me, if you ever go to prison, the first thing you got to do is find the toughest guy in the room, walk straight up to him, and punch him in the mouth. And that's what the 76ers did to the Houston Rockets. And I think that's a fair analogy, because the Rockets play prison ball. They do. They straight up play prison ball. They play like they're on the courtyard at recreation time in prison. And I think they got exposed. Because instead of answering by starting to make some shots, instead of answering by, playing better, they started straight mugging guys. And Tari Eason got ejected from the game. Well, he fouled out. He had 5 fouls, and he straight 2-hand bear hugs a guy on an inbound, gets called for a foul, fouls out. That's stupid. That doesn't make sense, right? Dylan Brooks fouled out in overtime, I think. Yeah, Dylan Brooks fouled out in overtime. He had 5 fouls. He mugged Quentin Grimes 40 feet from the rim, because Nobody had an answer for Quentin Grimes. Let's make that clear. Nobody had an answer for him. Even Dylan Brooks. And you can hate Dylan Brooks all you want. He's a guy that you love to hate. You would love to have him on your team. You hate him when he's not on your team. I get it. He's a great defender. He did not have an answer for Quentin Grimes. To the point where he had 5 fouls. And he still had to play Quentin Grimes so aggressively for the Houston Rockets to try to win this game that he got called for his 6th foul and fouled out in overtime. Fred VanVleet gets ejected. He got mad that he didn't get a foul on a 3 and ran down the other end, and Brissett had a wide open layup on a fast break, and VanVleet just pushes him in the back, shoves him straight out of bounds. Flagrant 2 ejection. A la Abdenabi, of course, disagreed. He called it a regular foul because he's probably like, oh, back in the 80s, we were allowed to punch each other in the stomach and headbutt each other. And it was, but anyway, VanVleet got ejected. There was almost a fight in the third quarter. Maybe it was in the second quarter, but there was almost a fight because Jeff Doughton Jr. got fouled, and then Tari Eason tried to get the ball from him on a jump ball and was like bear hugging him and stuff, and was kind of punking him and talking shit and gave him a little shove. And I was like, what? Why are we letting these dudes get away with this kind of stuff, And then the player that stepped up, because I was watching this happen and I was like, why aren't any of these Sixers players stepping up to defend, Jeff Doughton Jr. right here? I thought it was kind of soft that they were just kind of backing down to this bully ball that the Rockets were playing, right? You know who stepped up? Jalen Hood Schifino. He wasn't having it. And that's a neck tat. You know what I'm saying? That's a classic neck tat, black Air Force Ones kind of guy. He wasn't having it. That gave me straight Mike Scott vibes. We used to call it the Black Air Force lineup when Mike Scott and some other dudes would come in the game and a fight would break out damn near immediately. So shout out to Jalen Hood Schifino for being one of the only ones that, wasn't backing down from these dudes trying to bully them. I thought Jalen Green 2-hand shove to the chest in that situation should have been an ejection, but nothing happened there. And there was another one where Dylan Brooks had a jump ball on Jared Butler and tackled him to the ground, landed on top of him, and pushed him when he was on the ground and stared him down, and nobody did anything. I'm like, somebody needs to step up and smack this dude in the mouth. Why are we letting him get away with this? But it is what it is. Then the Houston Rockets go on a massive run in the third quarter, which you could have seen coming a mile away, right? And get back into the game. They erased the 76ers' entire 25-point lead. But the Sixers clawed and fought. And, I'm rooting for the tank, don't get me wrong, but this was fun to watch. And I actually caught myself rooting for the 76ers to win this game. I caught myself rooting for them to win this game because of just how fraudulent the Houston Rockets came across in this game. And then to be bitches and try to start fights when you're getting punked by a literal G League team. I wanted the Sixers to win this game by the end of it. But, it ended up going into overtime and the Rockets won. Let's talk about the final couple of plays, and then I want to rant and rave about how goddamn amazing Quentin Grimes is. The fourth quarter, Quentin Grimes just answering the call, answering the physicality in the fourth quarter. 7 straight points to start the fourth by Quentin Grimes. The Sixers went on a 10-0 run. That's when Tari Eason fouled out. That's when VanVleet got ejected. Quentin Grimes again, just every time we needed a bucket, he just said, give me the ball. Give me the ball. And he was searching out Jalen Green. I mean, he was putting Jalen Green. If Jalen Green wasn't on him, he was getting a screen to get Jalen Green on an ISO, and he was just giving that man buckets. What Quentin Grimes was doing to Jalen Green should be a crime. He should be arrested for what he was doing to Jalen Green. He was harassing Jalen Green. He was just getting him on an island, staring into his soul, and giving him bucket after bucket after bucket. It was amazing. He stared down Green again late in the fourth and hit another three. And then, we fouled. Somebody was at the free throw line. They intentionally missed a free throw. And Şengün gets the offensive putback, which was a big push in the back. Maybe should have been a foul call, but it is what it is in that type of play. It's going to get physical. The Sixers are up 3. The Rockets are on the free throw line. They make a free throw. They miss the second, and they get the putback to tie the game. And then that was after Grimes had a bad turnover with 7 seconds left in the game. But, just a real Sixers way to lose a game. I mean, you were up, like I said, 3 with them at the free throw line with 7 seconds left, and they end up winning the game. Game should have been over right there, but they found a way to lose. I'm not going to be too mad at that. As far as the tank goes, before I talk about Quentin Grimes, one more thing. The final shot, Jalen Hood-Schifino goes for the win at the fourth quarter buzzer. His job there is to hand the ball to Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes was absolutely cooking the whole game and in the fourth quarter. And Hood-Schifino took the final shot. I thought that was just a little bit odd. But listen, Quentin Grimes had 46 points in this game. 46 points Quentin Grimes had in this game. 46. Where is it at? 46 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 55% from the field, 70% true shooting percentage, 8 for 14 from 3. What's that? 75%? Somebody do the math. 60%? 17 points in the fourth quarter, 6 points in overtime. I mean, he had 23 in the second half. He had 4. Just unbelievable game. And like I said, he got so red hot that he was just taking the ball, staring guys down, and giving them straight buckets. There's nothing they could do. He would either stare into your soul and hit a 3 right in your face. You bring a double team. He hit a sidestep 3 over a double team in the corner to tie the game. They couldn't do anything. Dylan Brooks had to tackle the guy and foul out to try to stop him. They were face guarding him with Dylan Brooks. He's running off screens, getting the ball, and still giving them buckets. He was absolutely, completely unstoppable. Not only the entire game, but when it mattered the most, he was totally unstoppable. Especially in that fourth quarter. He was absolutely unbelievable. And this is an absolutely unbelievable trade by Daryl Morey. I got to give Daryl Morey credit for this trade. This was an unbelievably bad trade by the Dallas Mavericks and Nico Harris to compile, the already terrible trade that he made with trading Luka Doncic away. He trades Quentin Grimes, who just had 46 and 13. Dallas Mavericks fans are probably drinking bleach right now. But I mean, that what he did, if you guys didn't watch this game and you're no longer watching Sixers games this year, I get it. But please just go watch this fourth quarter just to watch Quentin Grimes. The look, the stone cold expression, he was a stone cold killer in this game. He was a stone cold killer in the fourth quarter. This is not a random player. This is not a random good game. I don't even think this is like a Spencer Dinwiddie back in the day 40-point game or a Cam Thomas, off the bench 40-point game. I think this is an elite NBA scorer. I think Quentin Grimes is an elite NBA scorer. He was giving them buckets every which way imaginable. Left hand lay through contact, right hand lay through contact, Euro step floater, step back midi, step back 3, side step 3 over a double team. He was giving them every kind of bucket you could imagine. And I am just so enthralled that this dude is 25 years old and the 76ers have his bird rights. And if the 76ers don't find a way to sign this guy, which I'm pretty sure all they have to do is match whatever anybody offers, there's not a number on the table that is too high for Quentin Grimes. At 25 years old, to be able to do what he just did in this game, there's not an NBA dollar that's too high. They got to pay that man. And if they could find a way to just give Paul George's contract to Quentin Grimes, that's what they should do. I am in disbelief what I just saw. This was an unbelievable game by an unbelievable player who's only 25 years old, and you put him with Maxey and Jared McCain and Justin Edwards and a Dembona. Let's go. Let's go. Let's move forward with the future, man. I'm tired of watching these old injured geezers. I'm tired of watching the Nick nursing home, man. Paul George, I'm trading you in the offseason any way possible. Joel Embiid, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know what I'm doing with you. But Nick Nurse, I'll see you later. Daryl Morey, great trade for Quentin Grimes. Terrible Paul George signing. Some other horrendous moves. I'm probably canning you too, because I don't think you really know how to put together a winning team. I think you've made some good draft picks. I think you've made some good trades, but I don't think you know how to put together a winning team. See you later, Daryl Morey. But I'm ready to watch this young core in the future. Sorry, I've been sick recently. But, yeah, man, listen, I think that's all I got, dude. I can't believe how much fun of a game that was to watch. And Quentin Grimes is a stone cold killer. And the Sixers have his bird rights. And he's probably going to get offered 4 5-year contracts. I mean, if Paul George got $200 million guaranteed, why is Paul George getting $50 million a year and a 25-year-old who can give you 46 and 13? And it was not empty stats. This dude was giving them ice cold bucket after bucket after bucket in crunch time, and just no expression on his face. I am hereby a Quentin Grimes stan. And if the 76ers don't pay this man any way possible, we lead a protest down Broad Street. That was fun. And the Sixers pulled off the loss, but that was a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring the channel. Now I got to find a way to simmer down and go to sleep. Y'all have a good night, man. I'm out.